Vienna Carroll is a songstress. She is a visionary, and she just committed to the work. And it is so much fun to be able to share space with her. I met her a couple of years ago, and we have stayed in each other's orbit ever since. I'm so thrilled to have the opportunity to share with you stories tonight that lift our spirits and make us laugh because we need it right now. I'm turning it over to Vienna Carroll.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you. Apple pie, apple pie. I love my mother's apple pie. I especially love to watch her make it because you learn to cook in my mother's house by watching her. And while that didn't always go right, watching her make that apple pie was just fabulous because she didn't care whether I learned it. She loved to make it, and she made it, and I watched her. She made the best apple pie. Ooh, it tasted better than anybody's apple pie. And now that she's gone to heaven, I make the best apple pie. My apple pie is so good. Now, you heard the way to your honey's heart is through their stomach. Now, I ain't no home wrecker, but my apple pie, I'll take your man or I'll take your woman. Now, as I said, I'm not no home wrecker, but that's how it is. My apple pie can cause confusion in your household. And this how I know. I'm going to tell you a story about how I know. There's a handyman in the area. His name is Country. And Country, he come over and he helped me put up my curtain rods and, fix my ceiling fan, that kind of thing. And I give him a few dollars. And one day I called Country over and I'm like, Country, I'm a little light on the money, but can I make you an apple pie? He said, sure. So he came over. I gave him the apple pie and he took it on home. Now, what I didn't tell you is that Country have a lady, and Country was a busy man, if you know what I mean, and his lady was very watchful, but I didn't have no issue with her because Country is not my cup of tea, and as I said, I'm not a home wrecker, and my eyes do not be shroven, and I'm a happily married woman. So a few days after I gave Country that pie, I saw his woman Sheila in the street, and I say, Sheila, how you doing? She say, good. I'm like, did you like the pie? She said, girl, I didn't get none of that pie. Country ate that whole pie. So now she looking at me with the third eye. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. And she said, oh, yeah, but I would like to learn how to make that pie. So I'm like, sure, I would tell her like I'm going to tell you. And so I told her what to do. I told her to do this exactly like I was telling her, and she would make a fabulous apple pie. Did she do what I told her? No. And you know how I know? Because the next time I saw her, I'm like, Sheila, how the apple pie turned out? Oh, it turned out good. I put my own little thing on it, and I'm like, okay, well, I won't be able to make Country no more apple pie because if I make him another apple pie, she'll be looking at him with the third eye, wondering, is her apple pie better than my apple pie? And the answer to that is no, because she put all this extra and all this in there. So I'm going to tell you how to make the apple pie, and you have somebody following you down the street. Okay, so this is what you do. Very important. Get Granny Smith apples. Don't use another kind of apple. Granny Smith apples, which are tart and sweet like a brown or black woman. And then this next part is also very, very important. You want to use half a cup of sugar. Don't over sugar your apples. Half a cup of white sugar, which is going to enhance the sweetness, bring out the tartness, so the two of them are going to be together like a brown or black woman. All right, so next you want the nutmeg. Go to the store and get a nut. Get the nut of the nutmeg. Okay, and then you're going to get on the knobby part of the grater, and you're going to go goosh, 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 about 7 or 8 times. Now, I told you I learned to cook by watching, so don't ask me about teaspoons and all that. Goosh, goosh, goosh. All right. Then cinnamon. Now, you do not need the royal cinnamon from the Himalayas, but you also do not need the cinnamon that been in your spice cabinet for the last 20 years. Get you some nice cinnamon, and you're going to put it in like this. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Do that about 8 or 9 times. And you put the apples, you done peel the apples. Oh, also you got to turn the oven on to 350 because you want to put it in there when the oven is nice and hot. And you put all that in there, and then you want to take a fingerful. See my fingers? A fingerful of flour and sprinkle it on the apples. Not a handful. Don't use no spoon. A fingerful of flowers, and you want to sprinkle it there. And then, this was my favorite part watching my mom. You want to toss the apples because you want to put them in a nice big bowl. You want to toss them. Toss, toss, toss to get all that mixture together. And when it all is mixture together, now you come to the crust. My mother made a beautiful crust. Everything she made was beautiful, pretty much, yeah. She made a beautiful crust, but I live in my Harlem apartment with a postage stamp kitchen. My refrigerator is in my living room, so I buy my crust. Shoot me. But anyway, you're going to put the apples in the bottom of the crust. You're going to make a nice mound, get them all in there, and it's going to be looking all nice. Then you want to take about 8 pats of butter, and you want to put them all throughout on the apple mixture, so that buttery mixture, so that butter can melt down in the mixture. Then you want to put your crust over top of it. And you want to flute the edges so you close up the pie. And then you want to put slits in the top of the pie to let the steam out. My mother's flutes and slits were all beautiful. As I told you, she was a beautiful cook. And, you know, if you're creative, you can make a letter or something, whatever. But you want to make flutes and slits. And then you want to put them in, put this pie in the oven at 350. Make sure your oven's hot now. At 350, at least 45 or 50 minutes. And how you know it's done is, you know, it'll bubble a little bit out of one of them slits. You want to wait until you get that, because who wants a crunchy apple pie? Nobody. All right, so there you go. All right, so that's how you make the apple pie. And when you cut it up and you give it to somebody, be prepared for them to follow you down the street. I have one really fabulous memory coming up that I'd like to share with you about the apple pie. This was after we moved out to the suburbs and my dad could walk to work. And my mother decided we was going to pick him up and go on a picnic. So she made that apple pie and fried chicken and potato salad and whatever else she made that was good. Everything she cooked was good. And she put everything in a picnic basket, and we picked him up from work, and we went to Sam Lewis State Park, uphill and down Dale and the backcountry roads up and up and up until we got to Sam Lewis State Park, which was nice and cool with trees and little rock formations you could climb, and the Amish were there and the Mennonites were there, and we had our dinner, and it was so delicious. Excuse me one second. It was completely delicious. And as we were finishing, it started cloud nova, and we saw in the distance there was a storm, and it was coming. So we put all the stuff in the vehicle in the car, and then we all went and we watched the storm coming, and it was coming, and it was coming, and it was coming, and it got to us, and it started to spring, and as soon as the first drops hit us, we ran shrieking and laughing to the car, and we got in the car where we were all safe and warm and happy. Apple pie, apple pie. I loved my mother's apple pie. Thank you.
Thank you, Vienna.